To wrap up an engaging and thought provoking semester of Alaska Native history, I'd like to share with you my presentation of an accomplished Tlingit woman named Ernestine Hayes. Here, excuse me, she is pictured here. And before we go on, I would like to apologize for any mispronunciations. So I'll talk briefly about her early life, the road to her education, her career as an educator and author, and her work for her community and where she is now. Ernestine Hayes, uh, pictured here in 1950 when she was roughly 5 years old, was born in Juneau, Alaska in 1945 and spent her earliest years in the care of her grandmother, living in their one-room home in what is known as the Old Indian Village. She knew her grandmother as a strong, proud woman of Tlingit nobility who, like many others in her family, struggled with alcoholism and poverty. Her mother was diagnosed with tuberculosis shortly after her birth and housed in quarantine at the public health hospital. While she would ultimately recover, those first few years Hayes spent with her grandmother in her village home, learning the stories and values of the Tlingit people. Many of these stories remain close to her in her writing. She paints vivid pictures in her memoir of the struggles of living as a colonized people and the marginalization she faced among her white peers. The racism and the otherness of being native in a colonized world are powerfully woven into her stories. Hayes' exposure to racism in her early years set the stage for a life of otherness, and as she and her mother left Alaska when she was 15, she carried her home with her in her heart. At the age of 40, with her children mostly grown, she finally set out to return to Juneau, Alaska, and was able to enroll in college at the age of 50, despite having never graduated high school. After graduating magna cum laude from the University of Alaska Southeast, she went on to earn her Master's of Fine Arts in Creative and Writing and Literary Arts from the University of Alaska Anchorage, She began teaching at UAS shortly after. She and has actively promoted Native rights and culture throughout her career, speaking about the effects of colonization on Alaska Natives. In an interview with the University of Alaska Southeast in 2018, she said, "When I went to college, it didn't just change me, it changed my generations." During the same interview, she talks openly about her disconnect from her Tlingit culture for much of her life. According to an article published about her by the Rasmuson Foundation, Hayes received the Faculty Excellence in Research and Creative Activity Award and was known for mentoring both students and other faculty. She worked to further the field of Alaska Native Studies and was well loved by her students. In 2006, she published the book pictured here, Blonde Indian, an Alaska Native Memoir, which won the American Book Award. Emotional and poetic, Hayes seamlessly weaves a humble story as an Alaskan Native with Tlingit histories and mythologies, expressing her deep affection for her home and her people. Hayes' passion for service to the community is evidenced by her dedication to the arts and education, and in her books she writes about the intricacies of Tlingit culture and beliefs. She has won many awards over the years, including the Rasmussen Foundation Distinguished Artist Award in 2021, and continues to live near her childhood home in Juneau, Alaska. Hayes' literary legacy will surely continue to shape conversation about Alaska Native culture for years to come. Thank you very much for watching, and here are my works cited if you want to look into it more.